Viewer discretion is advised. The verdict is in. Amber Guyger will receive 10 funky years in prison. When the guilty verdict was read, and family members and other people started to cheer, I said, "Will y'all please shut the hell up?" It's like you're at the finish line, but you haven't crossed it yet, and you're starting to celebrate. You don't celebrate until you cross the finish line. This 10-year sentence is a slap in the face to Botham Jean, because of those 10 years, how many will Amber Guyger actually serve? And by her being a police officer, will she really suffer in prison? No. They are protected, we know they are. And then she's going to get credit for time served. When did she ever serve time in jail for she wasn't there an hour. But I'm willing to bet though that one little hour will turn into maybe a year in prison. So I'm not satisfied with the amount of time that Amber Guyger received for killing Botham Jean. We'll never know the real reason why she killed Botham Jean, because all this talk about she made a mistake, that you don't make mistakes like that. You are a police officer, you are trained to pay attention to detail. This is your house that you have been living in. I don't care if you've been living there a week. By you being a police officer, you should know how many loops you have to make to get it to your particular floor. Since you're on the third floor, there's 3 loops. You want 4. You walked to the wrong house, didn't pay attention to the big vase, didn't pay attention to the big carpet, didn't pay attention to the door being open so you would look back and see, man, am I at the right house? You went on in, saw Botham Jean, and gave this man less than 2 seconds to live. She murdered this man. And now you have all these people getting up that they'll bring out the woodworks. Crackheads, former lovers, and cops. All of which will give Amber Guyger a raving review. The black coons that they're going to find is just, it's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me that this day and time, that they can still find black coons. And this immigrant lady they got, that's all a plot to keep us separated. Because I know most immigrants don't feel the way this coon immigrant feels. Whenever there's an issue concerning blacks and whites, what white people do is they will find a black person to go along with what they're saying, as to say, see, that's a black person, he's agreeing with us, but do we agree with him? That's the question. We know he's going to agree with you because he's being paid by you. And a lot of these black cops and people that always go along with the program, what's really up with them? What have they done in their past to receive this protection? A lot of these black police officers were caught in some type of wrongdoing, whether it was murder or drugs. And it's like they made a deal with the devil. In order for you to stay out of prison, you have to do whatever, and I mean whatever we tell you to do. Because if you don't, we still have this here waiting for you. We can still send you to prison at any time. So I don't trust these coons that were involved in auto accidents and people were killed and they got off, or they shot someone unjustly and got off, and then when they need them, they bring them out in issues like these to speak on behalf of the police force and not on behalf of the people, which they are black people. But as I said, the family of Both and Jean, they celebrated prematurely. The judge told them no outburst. As soon as they go outside, what they do? Start yelling and screaming. Now, do you feel like yelling and screaming now? I don't think so. Let this be a lesson to all black people. Don't celebrate too early. Wait till you're won, then celebrate. But just because you can see victory doesn't mean that you will be victorious.
2017, how was it that you came to know Amber Guyger?
I was at a drug house that day, and the police came and made us all come out. And I didn't see Amber as a policewoman that day, as a policewoman at all. I saw Amber as a human being.
Amber Guyger singled your dumb crackhead ass out. You were about to be a snitch for Amber Guyger if you wasn't already snitching for Amber Guyger. We see this all the time in the hood, where they'll pull one certain crackhead away from everyone else, let them off, and in return for their get out of jail free pass, they have to come and snitch on everyone else. Where you get the dope from? Who's bringing in the dope and the drugs? That woman was nothing but used. And we know what's happening out here in the hood. We know that that woman is nothing more than a plant. Why wasn't there people from Amber Guyger's past on the witness stand? People she went to school with. People she went to church with. Did she went to church? Why is it all police officers? Or some damn crackhead?
Well, they had a program set up, and I had like so many tickets. My life had become a disaster. So I started the program there, and I started to live again. I did my IOP, I did my SOP, and the first time that I faced up in that program was the first time in a long time that I felt like I made an accomplishment.
Did you end up graduating from that program?
Yes, I did. And Amber came to my graduation. Yes.
I'm wondering how much was she paid for those fake tears and weak-ass crackhead testimony. $10, $20, or rocking $10. I mean, why not her pastor, the chaplain on the police force? I've heard this testimony where the officer felt that maybe Amber Guyger should not be a police officer. One time they had a guy handcuffed and he got away. Amber Guyger wanted to be something important so bad that she decided to be a police officer. Knowing that she did not have what it takes to be a police officer, she did what it took to become a police officer. And that is exchanging sexual favors.
Richardson, R-H-O-N-D-A. Last name is R-I-C-H-E-S-O-N.
Anyone that has eyes and anyone that has ears can hear and see that this lady is gay. And she took Amber Guyger up under her wing, just like Rivera did. And for what I gathered about Miss Guyger a freak. And everybody wanted a piece of Miss Guyger. I didn't think that the women had her too, but I don't see why wasn't this particular lady questioned about their personal relationship? Did they have a thing? Did she make love to Amber Guyger? I think she did.
And how are you employed? I'm employed with the Dallas Police Department.
And what is your current position?
Currently, I'm a detective in the robberies division. And how long have you been with the Dallas Police Department?
20 years.
And at some point in your career, were you a field training officer assigned to the Southeast substation?
Yes, sir, I was. I worked at Southeast for 15 years, and 9 of that I was a field training officer.
And can you tell them, just briefly, very briefly, can you just tell members of the jury what a field training officer is?
Absolutely, yes. The field training officers, when a recruit comes out of
The time that you were training there.
Amber came to me ready to be out on the streets. It was a pleasure to train her, to sit with her. The first few days, I made sure I was there to help her out and stuff like that. I acted as a trainer. But the rest of the 2.5 weeks that I had her, I told her, I said, you're ready. You're ready to get out there and do this job. Let's just be partners now. So we acted like partners. We answered calls together, 2-man.
2-man, huh? You're right. I'm willing to believe that these people were 2 secret lovers. And people say, how can you say, man, they're police officers? Well, Amber Guyger is proof that some police officers have freaky desires. Some police officers are not lawful. Because Rivera was a married man and she knew it. And this woman here is gay, and I know it. And just because she's a police officer does not mean that she did not make advances toward Amber Guyger. The jury got half of it right. They was right saying that, yes, she's guilty of murder. But they was wrong with giving this woman just 10 funky-ass years with no fine. Imagine that. But I knew that this woman was nothing more than a liar. And they got something they call white lies. They try to make it little, they try to minimize it, the wrong that these people do. Amber Guyger was very reckless the night that she killed Botham Jean. She did not pay attention to nothing that particular night. All because she was texting on the phone. I see it all the time. People driving and texting. And just because she's a police officer doesn't mean that she doesn't drive and text like she obeys the law. She didn't. Since when did she obey the law? She never obeyed the laws that she was hired to uphold. When she came to the apartment, as I said, she did not go directly to her apartment or up to Botham Jean's apartment. She was still in the parking garage texting. When she got out of her car, she was still texting. When she was walking to Botham Jean's apartment, she was still texting. She didn't stop texting until she got to Botham Jean's door. And when she got to the door and saw that it was half cracked open, the average person would have looked and said, wait a minute, I don't leave my door open. I would have bagged up. Since I'm in an apartment complex and not in a personal property where I have my own property and there's no other house here but mine's, but I'm at an apartment complex with all the doors look the same, maybe I'm at the wrong apartment. I would have bagged up and looked. She didn't bag up and look. She pushed the door open. When she pushed the door open, Botham Jean was standing there because when you're in your house and everything is cut off, you can hear people walking outside. So he probably heard her walking up to his door, to which he got up and paused the television so he can hear. Next thing you know, she's coming through his door with a gun drawn out already. She shot in the air, missing him. So he went to dive on the floor and she shot him as he was diving for the floor. She did not say, let me see your hands, like the bullshit she was trying to say. She came in blazing. All of the tenants said all they heard was gunshots. They did not hear her saying any commands to the fact was, let me see your hands. Now they had this other person that said that after hearing the shots, they heard both of them Gene say, why did you do that? And I'm wondering why certain people, well, I'm not wondering because I know why certain people were not put on the witness stand, because there was other testimony by other people. But they did not want that testimony because they wanted Amber Guyger to get off. And after she shot Botham Jean, she made sure this man was dead. She did not offer any assistance. To my rubbing your sternum. This woman didn't do shit. She didn't have no blood or anything on her hands or shoes. She had first aid equipment designed for gunshot wounds in her backpack. She never pulled out and tried to use them. When she called the 911, she did not say, hey, hurry up and send paramedics. I accidentally shot a guy. All you was hollering about was, I thought this was my apartment. So whoever you called after you shot Botham Jean instructed you to say, when you call 911, make sure to hear you say, I thought that this was my apartment. That's part of the reason why you were convicted, because the things that your partners were telling you to say, your dumb ass could not remember it. It's proof that you don't have a memory at all, because when they were asking you about your training, you didn't know. Oh, I forgot. That was a long time ago. That was a year. I don't remember that. Because it was not about remembering anything for you. You lied to get on the police force. You sucked dicks to stay on the police force and ate cat too. And all these people tried to cover and conceal for you, because who wants to lose a good freak when you find one? After Botham Jean was shot, you had the sergeant, all types of different police officers coming up there coaching you on what to say, what not to say, telling you to shut the hell up. You were coached along the way. And people pretend as if they didn't even see that or hear that. You get up in court, sniveling and crying and shaking, unbecoming of a police officer. And the jury saw right through it. But what made her get that, in my opinion, those little light 10 years, is that outburst by the family of Botham Jean. We have to remember, we are still in America. And it's something about black people showing emotion. They don't like that, especially when we win. And because of your outburst, you cause your family to lose. What is 10 years? 10 years from now, you will still be grieving from the death of Botham Jean. But after 10 years, what will she be doing? Where will she be? This is a white person's country, or however you want to look at it, try to put it. They can easily relocate her, give her a whole new life, even with money, to make sure that she can live comfortable. But what do you have? Nothing. You have to pick up the damn pieces. My whole thing with this case is that you never hear police officers say, hey man, I was sorry, I'm wrong for that. You don't hear them say that. When they do wrong, they still try to find some type of way to justify what they did. Oh, I thought, hey sir, there's no such thing as I thought. And you're a police officer, you are supposed to be held to a higher standard than a regular citizen, because you're supposed to be trained. Now me, a regular citizen, I make a mistake, I get the book thrown at me. But you, a person that's being trained, you make a mistake, you get a spank on the wrist. You get GoFundMe. relocation, and sympathy. All of these dummies, especially white people, and a few you coons that think that Amber Guyger was so innocent. It's not good to laugh about certain things because it won't be long before you will be on the other end. You will be on the receiving end. You will be sitting up in court trying to get some type of conviction for a cop that went into your home, thought it was his, shot and killed someone that you know, and the person gets no time. You have to be strong about it and pick up the pieces and move on. That's why when I see black people that do these type of things, when they get their nigga wake-up call to whereas the white people have discarded them and say, man, you're on your own, I cheer, I laugh, and I sleep good at night, knowing that a coon has been taken down. Now I know that there are a lot of Caucasians that are not with this. They understand what's going on. Just like we got coons that'll go against us, you have white people that go against the lies and the deception and the wrong things that other white people do. They don't like it either. Some of them have been caught up in this mess. And people don't realize the significance of these rulings because they can use this particular case as a way for another cop in the future to get off. We still have this case in Houston with Dennis Tuttle and Regina Nichols that were in their home and there was a botched raid, shot these people up, killed a dog, lied and said that people were selling heroin. And come to find the officer didn't have an informant, lied to get the warrant, just lied. Now you have people coming forward and say, hey man, this is a dirty cop. And just because a person joins a police department, all of a sudden they are such honest people. When there's proven time after time that there are evil cops on the force. They know it. But because they are working for the establishment, so to speak, they get a pass for all of the killings and wrongdoings and falsely arrested people. People who have drugs planted on them. If the people on that jury would have given Amber Guyger a stiff sentence, it would have been a message to all the other cops, hey man, do your job properly. That's all we ask. We're not against police officers, we're against police officers who refuse to do their job properly. They did a survey 15, 20 years ago about on which job do people lie the most. And 90% were police officers. They always lie. But they're supposed to be so damn honest, but they always lie to get convictions. You know, when cases like this happen, it's almost like I can see in the future. And all this is going to do is, it's going to be bad for police officers. That should, whatever police officer in the future mistakenly goes into the wrong property, a house, is going to get killed. These people, because no one is going to take a chance on you doing the right thing. You trying to actually find out the truth. Shoot first and ask questions later. That's what the motto of the police department these days are. And no one wants to be a fatality or an accident. We are not going to let that happen. The people are not going to allow that to happen. So all you're doing is making it rougher and tougher on police officers. Instead of your commanders or your captains say, man, look, do your job properly. We're already taking a lot of heat as a police force. And these road cops doing what you want to do, sir, stop it. Ma'am, stop it. Because we're going to stop protecting you if you're doing the wrong things. If you're taking the law into your own hands, doing things outside of the law, just to get a conviction or to be able to sign some type, get a ticket, we cannot and we will not protect you because we're trying to clean that up. We're trying to clean up our image. And all I can see is the police department is further tarnishing how they look to the people. Amber Guyger lied when she said that when she shot Botham Jean, she was looking him in his eye. But when they looked at the path of the bullet, it hit him somewhere in the shoulder, near the heart, at a downward angle. And she is shorter than Botham Jean. She said that Botham Jean was not sitting down. That's why I said, well, was he sitting down? Because they're trying to figure out why was the bullet going down if he was standing up. And both of you stand up. But you are shorter than he is. What, you had the gun way up in the air over your head shooting? No. When Botham Jean heard you stumbling around at his door, he went and paused the television. So you open the door, he's standing there looking at you, you looking at him. And he see that gun. And you shot, he dove for the ground. You shot twice. A lady said it wasn't pow, pow. It was pow, pow. So you shot in the air, he dove toward the ground, you shot him again. But you lied and said that he was coming at you. And for all of these lies, all the woman gets is 10 damn years. And that is not enough time for a police officer because she's not going to do that much time. She's not going to do 10 years. She's not in a regular prison with other people that do wrong. She's going to be in a place for police officers so they can be protected the whole damn time while they're in prison. Now, if she was in general population for 10 years, I might can understand that. She'd get to meet some of the people that she falsely imprisoned. That would be a good thing. But they're not going to allow that to happen because why? She's a former police officer. She needs protecting. So it has become quite evident with Botham Jean and Mr. Dennis Tuttle is that we are not safe anymore. We are not safe on the streets and we are not safe at home. Not from the criminals and burglars, robbers and thieves. We have to worry about police these days. Bad information, if it is bad information. And they get protected when they make bad information, when they make bad moves. Oh, according to what the informant said, he said this house. It's not our fault that it was the wrong house. But did you check to make sure that was the house? Did you check to see what that type of activity going on in this house that this snitch said was? Amber Guyger is nothing more than a thought cop, a hoe on the force. Everybody had her, even the damn women. I've seen a lot of whores in my days, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. And what I'm looking at right here is a whore. I'm looking at how her legs are. Look how big her breasts are. This woman is nothing more than a two-bit whore that sucked and fucked her way on the police department. She was not allowed to become a police in Fort Worth. Why is that? But she was allowed to become one in Dallas. And these other so-called trainers pulled her through, knowing she was not worthy of being a police officer. She's not worthy of being a security guard, a crossing guard. She's too distracted to be a crossing guard. She's supposed to be walking the kids across the street. She on the damn phone texting. All the kids get killed. Now, if Amber Guyger's attorneys have any sense, I don't think they will appeal this sentence. 10 years ain't shit for murder. If she tries to appeal that, I don't think that would be a good idea. She better roll that damn 10 and be satisfied. I'm just wishing that she would have got at least 25. Ag. But this is Texas, especially in Dallas, Texas. You have to remember, Dallas, Texas is where they killed the President of the United States. Dallas, Texas, where I was in Dallas, Texas. I think it's over here on Harry Hines. Open prostitution. That type of shit goes on in Dallas. Dallas is really, that's a kind of corrupt town there. And if you're a black person and you're a rider, that's not a good place to be in Dallas. Because I've been in Dallas, especially back in the 80s. I know how racist Dallas is. I know the problems that the black people in Dallas have with the police department there. I know the relations between black people and white people in Dallas, Texas. Now you got a lot of white girls that love black men in Dallas, but the white men don't love that. That's where the conflict comes in, because the women, they might like the black men, but they don't have the power to protect black men. We got to protect ourselves. You got some riders in Dallas, but you got a lot of cooning that goes on in Dallas. You got a lot of black people that think they're some goddamn cowboys or something. They really think they're a damn cowboy. They always want to holler about Dallas. But the things that are nice in Dallas, it's not for black people. All the nice things in Dallas are for white people. Let a black person come bring your black ass over if you want to. Here come the laws, gonna run your black ass up out of there. You have a black judge, black police chief. I mean, what's the use of having them if we still can't get any justice with them? Only thing you do is hold up justice for the people who that system was designed to hold justice for. And it is not black people, because we still have not, we don't receive no damn justice. That 10-year sentence was not justice for the family of Both and Jean. It was justice for Emily Guyger and her goddamn family, and for the police department. It was justice for them, but not for Both and Jean. And you have to ask yourself this one question. What exactly does this mean for black people? I mean, how will this ruling help black people? I mean, cops have always gotten spanks on the wrist when they do so much wrong they can't get protected anymore. Like Amber Guyger. She just made such a stupid mistake that they was basically, they were helpless in helping her. But how does this ruling really help black people? I really just don't see how. Because the lady got off. That cop up in Minneapolis, Muhammad Noor, how much time did he receive? When black cops do wrong, man, they get the maximum. And when white officers do wrong, they get the bare minimum. They get so much sympathy. When you see black people in certain positions like judges, district attorneys, police officers, even politicians, that's like a club. And they only let certain people in their club. Anyone cannot get in. You have to have a certain mentality. You have to be, assimilated. You have to be assimilated before they will let you in. You cannot be a black person that feels strongly about issues concerning black people. You have to see things straight down the middle Just be concerned with the law, sir. I know those are your people, but what does the law say? We always held to the law. But other people, they create the laws as they go along to benefit them. So when just because it was a black judge, I didn't get happy. A black police chief, I don't get happy. Black police officers, I damn sure don't get happy because I know how they treat us sometimes. So when I saw who the police chief was, and then when I found out who the judge was, I really felt really depressed because I know that they was not going to do a damn thing for the family of Botham Jean or for black people in general because that's not their job. Their job is to uphold their law, which is not black people's laws, but it's the laws of this land. And we were not included in those laws. So who is the law for? Definitely not us. For all you people that got so happy, oh, they found him guilty. They found the guilty murder. How do you feel now that she only received 10 funky years?